The Get Better podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants. Please remember to gamble responsibly.
Welcome to Get Better Sports, January 26, 2022. First podcast of the new year. Excited to be joined here, as usual, with Troy Gubb. Troy, how are you, pal?
Good, man. Good. How you been doing?
Good. Not too bad. Good start to the new year-ish, if we want to go down that route.
Okay, quick question for you. What was your best present you got this Christmas?
Ooh. Best present I got this Christmas.
Best present.
My son got a hoverboard, which is kind of fun.
What?
Yeah. They call. Hang on, now that we're not talking like Marty McFly.
I see Back to the Future. He's stopping over water and he's trying to paddle.
No, it's not.
And he jumps off as Biff flies over him.
He's on a hoverboard.
They call them hoverboards, but it's just really that board that has two wheels, and it's like a Segway almost, but without the handlebar.
Gotcha.
It's not even my gift, but
have you played on it?
Oh yeah, it's so hard, man. We try to wheel around the house on it. My son, literally, he opened it up and was like, he got on it for the first time, and I looked at my wife and I was like, this is going away for a long time. There's no way. He's too young for this still. I'm not kidding you. Within 20 minutes, he was ripping around the house.
Come on.
Yeah, like the biggest turn of events I've ever experienced with a Christmas gift. I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Good for
I got on that thing. Tough go. But yeah, again, not even my gift, but I still think it's probably the most fun.
Nice.
Most fun with. What about you? What'd you get?
Yeah. What was probably my best gift? Probably my best gift this year was my first. This is embarrassing as a golfer. Well, I shouldn't call myself a golfer, but you know the thing you look through, the little.
Oh yeah,
I got my first one.
Rangefinder.
A rangefinder. Yeah. I got my first one. So
nice.
It was on the list for a long time. So
it's a must-have.
It's a must-have, but let's be real. I'll look and I'll be like, it's 150. I'm going to use this.
I'm telling you, use it more. You'll use it more than you think. I love my rangefinder. Yeah, I do. I think it's a great thing to have. You're not. Prior to that, like, what did you do? You just looked at
looked at the marks, and you know what? I could tell you within 10 yards of how far I am at all times.
Yeah, big field golfer you are. Big field, just all field. Like, I don't.
Problem is, I'm off on the sides too often, right? I'm not in the middle of the fairway, so
yeah, exactly.
That's the true 150, 200 out. Off on the sides, I can't pull together the angle for the straight. So I think this will fix things.
Yeah. The markers are a true benefit to those that stay in the short stuff. So it's challenging when you're not always there. Anyways, excited to do this one today.
Lots to cover. Lots to cover today.
Some big events coming up, which is exciting. Exciting time of year. Super Bowl around the corner. NFL. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
we're going to talk a little bit about our picks for what we thought was going to be our Super Bowl match.
Disaster.
Spoiler alert. We have no teams in the Super Bowl.
We will be.
But we'll review that. Yeah. That's what we're here to do. We're here to get better at betting. Clearly, we missed the boat on that one. Although I feel like there was a lot that I think there's a lot of people that are sitting there looking at it saying, scratching their head on a couple.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk a little NFL. We'll tee up this weekend a little bit. We'll talk about last weekend. Some fun takes on that. Lots to come out of that. What a great weekend of football. Did you watch?
Yeah. I watched. It was fantastic. Like, what a weekend.
Yeah. If you're the NFL, that couldn't have gone any better for you in terms of how every game played out. Never mind like the Buffalo KC. We're gonna get to that.
Oh yeah.
But every other game winning in a last minute field goal, like, you can't script that any better for the NFL. Like, that's about as good as it gets. Yeah.
So I think you're in for a letdown this week.
It'll be tough. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that we continue to ride the momentum of some really good football games. So we'll talk a little NFL. We're going to talk actually a little bit of golf too.
Yeah, golf season started, right?
It's off and swinging. Torrey Pines Farmers Insurance Open this weekend. A lot of the big names out there. So
All
let's
right.
talk. I got one specific take I want to get from you. And actually it's not really golf related.
Perfect.
A little bit more
Even
lifestyle. But let's play in that territory. We're gonna have some fun with that. And then the main event, you might think we would focus our attention and efforts towards the NFL and the conference finals.
No.
Where are we going this week, Cup?
We gotta go. This is the kickoff. The road to WrestleMania begins at the Royal Rumble. Oh yeah.
I'm
ready.
You've reached an all-time low in sports betting when you're betting on scripted television.
I guarantee you, if you've done a Royal Rumble pool, it's some of the most fun you can have.
Yeah,
because it is so ridiculous and it's just so perfect.
Agreed. Royal Rumble to me is the best WWE.
Absolutely.
Event.
Absolutely.
I didn't miss one when I was a kid growing up. I openly admit I'm not a huge WWE fan. Don't watch it. I quite honestly, and looking at some of the names, I don't know who half of these people are anymore. So this could be a fun one to talk about. You know a little bit more than me.
I do. I'd like to stay in touch. I've done I follow a lot of wrestlers on social media.
Yeah.
Superstars on social media. And so you're able to keep up the storylines and follow WWE. So I'm able to hit and miss and keep up with certain things that are going on. They do a great job of keeping you engaged and knowing what's going on, because it's hard to commit, 5 hours to 2 events each week of wrestling.
Are they 5 hours long?
Well, I think Raw's like 3 hours and SmackDown's 2. And then there's NXT if you're a diehard. That's a lot of wrestling.
That's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah. But I used to do it. I won't even lie. Like my early 20s, when it was in its absolute peak, I was there.
And they have a massive fan base.
Huge.
Like massive.
Global,
massive,
man.
Massive. Yeah, it's
global.
Huge.
It's one of the biggest brands there is, period, in the world.
Oh, yeah. And kudos to them, because they're doing it right too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And some of the takes on that, and how you might explore betting on the Royal Rumble, because it's not easy to find.
No. Yeah. You have to have a site that's really open to fun bets, really fun bets. So there's a couple sites out there that you can go to and place a bet on scripted television, which is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. So let's just chat before we jump into all that fun stuff. Let's just chat a little bit here about the NFL. Last week we already talked about it, how great last weekend was. Let's just quickly review who we had each selected to be in the Super Bowl, and where we currently sit right now. So I was feeling really good, to be honest with you, going into last week, and I felt pretty confident. I really felt good about the Packers and Aaron Rodgers getting it done over the 49ers. That obviously didn't happen.
No,
I had the Packers
disaster.
And I had Buffalo.
Yeah.
And again, let's park Casey Buff, because we got to get to that in a minute. But I had Packers, I had Buffalo to make the Super Bowl. Not happening. I got none left there now. Who did you have? You had.
I was with you. Like, we both had Packers winning the Super Bowl. Rarely do we agree on something, but I thought it was for sure. It felt right in every facet, but nope, disaster. Aaron Rodgers, I think, played his last game in Green Bay. I think he's going to play in some warmer weather or indoors from now on in the playoffs. So I see him going maybe to the Saints, maybe to San Fran. I see him going somewhere warm, but I still think he stays in the NFC. On the other side, absolute disastrous. It all went south, because I told you they would get stronger throughout the year. They were really starting to turn it on. The Indianapolis Colts, I felt, were going to go to the Super Bowl. It was like they were playing great football, and then they lost to the Jaguars to miss the playoffs. And wow, that was just an absolute slap in the face. So I was out before I had a team picked for the Super Bowl that didn't even make the playoffs. So embarrassing there.
And I think we were both riding the storyline of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, would have been great.
And all that, because quite honestly, right now, like, if he walks away from the Packers, he's walking away as one of their greatest quarterbacks, if not their greatest quarterbacks, without a Super Bowl title.
For sure.
Right?
Well, no, he's got one. He's got
one. He's got one title. You're right. Yeah. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah. But he's going to walk away and feel like feels a little bit of like unfinished business there. But It'll be interesting to see where he lands.
Yeah.
Now, and then the other piece where you went with Indy was a similar storyline, right? With
Indy, I really thought they just needed a quarterback. I thought Carson could get it done.
Yeah.
I know he's hated on a lot, but I thought he would do a little better. They had a great D, but Jacksonville just has their number.
Yeah.
So I think they're like 2-3 or something over the last 2 years against them. It's embarrassing.
It's very
just embarrassing.
It's awful. So if we look at it now, who we still have in the mix here, what are you thinking? What are you thinking if you were to repick right now with the teams remaining? What's your Super Bowl matchup?
I have Cincinnati Bengals playing the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I believe, again, defense wins championships. And I think the better defenses are San Fran and Cincinnati Bengals. Who's going to win there? It's crazy, but I think the 49ers could maybe squeak it out somehow, but Burrows, I think, is the best quarterback that we don't talk about enough in the league, just from a pure pocket presence passer. Yeah, Burrows is my guy.
Interesting.
What about you? What are you thinking?
I'm the polar opposite. I have the Rams and the Chiefs.
Wow.
I think in that mix. And so
the Chiefs are done. Chiefs are, I just got to say, like the Chiefs, they are like what you saw was their peak again. Like that was, they've exerted all their energy. They were so excited. They should have lost that game. And if Buffalo just didn't do their normal Buffalo things, then they'd be eliminated right now. So I think they peaked. They celebrated, and they'll lose next week.
I just think that I think Mahomes is a special player.
Good player, yeah.
He's a really good player. Yeah. And I think there was in one of the post-game pressers, and it's come out and they've talked about it, Mahomes and Kelsey, where Kelsey picked up on something in the defense in that game, and they exploited it in the last 13 seconds to set up that game-tying field goal. And like that, to me, is just high football IQ. To identify that, to recognize that, to take a risk and run a play that's not set and convert, and then march down the field in OT and get that touchdown win. Mahomes is a special player. I think they got a lot of talent there. I agree. I don't know that the defense is probably strong enough, but man, like I think they're going to ride that wave now. The Super Bowl.
I got to be honest. I think you're giving way too much credit to the players coming up with that play, and not enough credit to the garbage team that is the Buffalo Bills.
Come on, man.
This is what they do. It's a natural choking franchise. You know, it's what Buffalo does. I was telling my buddies, I love it because I got so many friends that are just dire Bills fans. And I'm just like, I was playing the opposite curse. You know, as soon as they scored, I'm like, oh, it's a lock. They've won for sure. Right. Just so they start to feel that uneasiness, because Buffalo does Buffalo things. They miss field goals, just Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And they let someone come back and score with 13 seconds on the clock. What a joke of a franchise.
It is. Yeah. But what a game. What a game. It's one of the best games I've ever watched.
Oh, it is. I got to give Allen credit. Allen was fantastic. He is a good quarterback. And as a Miami fan, I do worry a little bit about that.
You should be worried.
Easily the best quarterback that's ever played for Buffalo. And it's a little nerve-wracking, but Buffalo does Buffalo things. And that's what's going to happen again. So,
okay. Well, fair enough. So yeah, I still think KC, and I think watching the Rams defense now, they almost blew it against Tampa down the stretch there.
Close.
And they're lucky because you give somebody like Tom Brady that window.
Yeah.
And it usually doesn't end the way that it ended for them. But I mean, Stafford looked good too. Right. Like I think that defense is strong. The defensive front there is good. That's a force right there. And I think that I think it could be a bit too much for the 49ers there, but we'll see. You
got to remember, 49ers were in the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago. And then last year, their defense just got dismantled with injuries.
Yes.
That's why they weren't there. They're healthy. They're there. The best defense still around. And yeah, watch out for
Not
them.
wrong.
They're not going to let Cup do a 80-yard bomb over the middle. Oh, embarrassing. That defender, whoever that safety is, like,
oh yeah,
bad luck.
Good.
Bad
No
luck.
good. So so just really quickly, come back to the Chiefs and Buffalo.
Yeah.
We got it because there's a lot of talk, everybody weighing in on it. I need to know your take on the NFL overtime format. Yes or no? Does it need to be changed?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw a good Larry David, standard Larry David take about you're letting this thing decided by a coin toss.
Do you like the overtime rules?
The overtime rules are so ridiculous.
Okay.
So I win a coin toss.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I score a touchdown.
Yes.
And the other team, they're done.
Yes.
No
Right.
good.
Mm.
Why do they not have a chance? So now a coin toss is deciding the winner of a game. Nothing makes sense in this world. I need to be president, not just NFL commissioner.
I would actually sign for that.
No, the coin toss is so idiotic. I mean, it's not idiotic. Give the other team a chance.
I agree.
Give the other team a chance to come back.
I agree. Exactly. One team
It's
scores.
not fair. It's just not fair. Let's do what's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you know, again, Buffalo Bills doing Buffalo things. I think it was there was a good stat where Josh Allen was 9-0 in coin tosses this year. And of course, the one he loses was the most important. Just Buffalo does Buffalo things, and boom, done. Yeah, they absolutely need to change it. The college football playoff, the way they do it, where they take it from the 25-yard line, everybody gets a shot. You got to go for two. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Or a kickoff, just back-to-back field goals. They line it up from 40 each kick, line it up from
and
50,
just keep marching it back,
marching it back,
all on the kickers,
all on the kicker.
That's
or even wilder. You have to you start from the 10-yard line, and you pick a player on your team to come kick it, and it moves back a yard line, just kind of playoffs, and you have to bring a new player in.
It's like a shootout, but with field goals.
Shootouts, but each field goal gets a little bit longer. So when are you gonna put in your real kicker? Your punters in there, everybody's got to be good at kicker.
Oh my gosh.
There's a bunch of linemen doing kicks early at the 10-yard line.
This could be a fun one. I'd love to hear from other people too. What's your take on how the NFL fixes their overtime format? Because I'm with you. And I'm with you because when I think about that game, as fans, we were robbed of the opportunity to see Josh Allen come back on the field. Absolutely robbed. He should have had a chance to come back on the field. That said, and I think a lot of maybe you can't even call them purists, because I think there's so many. There's two sides of the fence here. A lot of people will say, and I read it a lot on social media as well, that your defense should be able to make a stop somewhere, and they didn't against KC. And KC marched the field and gets that touchdown, and that wins the game. But from a pure fan perspective, each team getting a chance would be ideal. Now, I wonder if the NFL does it this way, because when you think about it, that game ends on a field goal. What a great play. KC fans going crazy. Now, Josh Allen comes out and it ends on a lackluster 4th and something missed. And it's kind of the game's done. That's kind of it. And pretty anticlimactic at that point. Right. But I still think as fans, we were robbed by not seeing Josh Allen come back out and have another shot at it. And that to me is why I think it needs to change, but could be fun. I think that's the shootout style field goal where
do you imagine?
Really anyone on the teams.
Comment down below. We want to hear your takes. Give us yours. Do they need to change the rules? Yes or no? And tell us, give me your best idea for overtime. What's the best way to settle a playoff overtime in the NFL? Comment down below.
Field goals is just hilarious. That's funny, actually. It'd be fun to watch.
Just one-on-one drills, just one-on-one, the quarterback and the defender, and one-man rushing.
Love it. That's hilarious. Okay.
Just really quickly, can I just say one last thing too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just triggered it. Just popped in my mind that, do you remember when Buffalo lost to the what was it? The Music City Miracle with the throwback on the kickoff last second again?
Oh yeah.
Just Buffalo does Buffalo things, man. It's so good. Love it.
So unfortunate for that city. I said I was one of the reasons why I wanted to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl is to see what that city does. That city would go nuts.
It's too bad. Oh,
we're robbed of that
Buffalo.
again.
Poor Buffalo.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay, let's move on. What was the other? What's next, Rep?
Oh,
Golf.
PGA.
PGA, yes.
Want to get your take on something?
Yeah. What's going on?
So season has already started, but one of the bigger events on the schedule is Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines obviously attracts a lot of the big names in the sport out to this particular event. So big weekend. Tony Finau rolls into the tournament. Okay. And he captures it himself. So today was round one, but he rolls in the tournament, and in his walk to the clubhouse, he is dressed in a hooded jean jacket. So sweater hooded jean jacket. He's got the Nike kind of track pants going on. He's got the white Nike SB sneakers with the blue swoosh, backwards Nike hat, super, super casual, right? Yeah. And so posts this on his Instagram and says, other sports call it pregame fits. We call it Finau fresh. Time for us to get in on the action. I don't love the Finau fresh, but hey, it's a play. It's a play. But he rolls in here showing a little bit of personality, right? Showing a little bit about himself, a little bit of character through fashion, through style. We see this all the time in other sports. We see it. Basketball is known for it now. It's big. The NHL is still very conservative. Guys come off the bus in the suits. Although we did see in the Winter Classic, St. Louis come in and they were decked out in beach attire.
I saw it. Yeah, having a little fun
with that, showing a little bit of personality of the team. So my question to you is golf ready for this? And should more players be doing this, or is the sport still too highbrow?
My take is they need to garner a younger audience, and you do that through many ways. They have that whole social media bonus that they give out. So this is playing right into that. And I'm sure Tony is very well aware of that as he's doing this. But absolutely, I would love to see what these guys walk in like, but I also like it because it's, in the NHL, everybody's a millionaire. They're all playing. They all can afford to walk in. They're all driving in together. Golf, or they're on their own, right? Maybe a couple of guys might show up together. I don't know, but they're all on their own, and they're all at very different scales of their life. You got loaded guys probably showing up in beautiful cars. I want to not only see what they're wearing, but the car they're getting out of, because I do want to see somebody show up in a beautiful Lambo, pop out, do the walkout, but then some amateur just getting out of a Beck taxi or off of a bus, or his parents dropping him off because he's an amateur still. I want to see that and show the differences as they're coming out for sure. But yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a brilliant idea. But I think you start to, again, learn more about their personality, and you can relate. And when you get more people to relate to them, it's better for the game.
I think so. Yeah. Two things. I think it's good on Tony to do this. I hope this becomes more of a trend. I hope we see more of it, right? It's just some crazy fashion, some different looks. Guys have fun with it. And again, attract a younger audience. And I'm with you on this social media. And I think we're going to see a bunch more of this over the course of the season as guys go after this sort of social media bonus that the PGA Tour is handing out. Brooks Koepka, he's gone bleach blonde, dyed the hair. It's bleach. I haven't seen this. Bleach blonde. He took his hat off today to shake hands, and I was like, wow. He's gone bleach blonde. I think all of it is going to be about building personality, building character. The other piece of this is, and I don't know if you saw or heard this, but Netflix is going to do a series on PGA Tour. They've selected a bunch of players similar to F1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're going to do it. And it's going to be fun to watch. So that's where you're going to start to build more character. That's why I think a lot of this stuff might be playing.
F1 was solid. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good for the sport. I think it's going to be really good to kind of grow that younger fan base, and good for the players to show some style, have some more fun. I don't need to see players get out in a golf shirt and shorts and walk into the clubhouse. I think the more that we can show these guys and their own personality and character, the better it's going to be. So I love it. I think what Tony did was awesome. Fresh look too. A big fan of the look and what he had going on today. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if he does something similar tomorrow, and if we get another look, another taste. So that'll be a fun one to watch. And obviously we'll get into some golf later in the year for sure. All the majors we know we cover.
Gonna be good.
Masters will be a fun one to watch. So we'll get into some of that. But let's talk now about the main event, which is WWE Royal Rumble.
So
many of you may not have known you could bet this, but you can. So give us the lowdown on that, guy.
So, you just Google it. First of all, you can do it anywhere. Yeah. So the site we're looking at today is MyBookie. You see a lot of folks pushing that. You see a lot of influencers. I find that the UFC has a ton of folks. Like you always see people pre-fight, go on MyBookie, use my code, this, and then they give their picks. It's there. So I think what we should try to do today is pick the winner of the men's Royal Rumble and the women's Royal Rumble. Obviously, I've stayed a little bit closer to this over the years. We've both passed our heyday in terms of peak wrestling. When do you think the last time you were following wrestling? Like, who was big at that time?
Like when I was an avid fan of wrestling,
when
I watched it, like I'm talking back into the Bret Hart days, like Stone Cold days.
Yeah,
it started like when I was young. I was like Ultimate Warrior. That was
my guy.
The Ultimate Warrior, right? Like he was the best. Come on, shaking the ropes, the face paint, all that stuff. And I was a big Jake the Snake fan. But so many great characters, right? So many great characters they had, right? When you think about it, Ted DiBiase, there was Axel Jim Duggan. There was just too many. Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. So many great characters. That was when I felt like wrestling was in its heyday for me, but that's when I was young and I was a big fan, and I never missed a Royal Rumble. Hands down, the best event that I think the WWE puts on
100%.
Without it. It's just too much fun to watch, right? Like even now when I watch it, it's exciting. And I mainly get excited about the Royal Rumble just to hear about who is a surprise guest. Like that to me is fun. You get some blast from the past, someone coming in with a big name for that you might recognize. It's getting to the point now where I don't know any of these guys, but yeah, hands down the best event. It's been a long time since I've been an avid fan. You stayed a little bit closer.
Yeah. So I've stayed in touch with it. Obviously a big Royal Rumble fan. I love to do a Royal Rumble pool where you draw a number, you pick a number, and you get that person when they come out. So, you immediately know like, oh man, this guy's a bomb. We're not winning this with this guy. So I think for me, I've probably drifted off the last few years. There are now some names I don't recognize. I do follow a lot of them on social media just to kind of keep up with what's going on. So I can stay in touch. Do you ever see yourself watching with your son one day or your daughters one day? Like, no. I feel like, no, not at all. Not at all. Right?
Like, no,
not at all. So like, I feel like this is kind of like the journey I've been on. Like, I feel Vince McMahon found us in the early 80s and, Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, and it was going well, and they started to lose us. And then, the Attitude Era came in, Stone Cold, the whole bit, they brought us back in my early 20s, it'd be fun to watch still. And then kind of again drifted off. So I feel like we're about to go through the next big thing in wrestling over the next few years. We're going to see a lot more crossover between other organizations all around the world as they try to bring folks back. And I feel like you're going to get those fans that were there in the 80s now bringing their kids into it somehow. I don't know how or when. It's not it for me. My girls are still a little young to appreciate it, but I hope they enjoy it the way I did for sure. But so it's been a while for you, right? It's been a while.
Yeah. It's absolutely been a while. But the one thing I just wanted to circle back on one thing, because I think you touched on something in regards to like setting up pools. That is because I've done a couple of them, and as a non sort of WWE fan, call it, or I wouldn't say that I'm not a fan, because I actually really respect what the WWE does, and I think as a brand they're one of the strongest brands globally from a sports and entertainment perspective. It's outstanding what they've done and what they've built in terms of that empire. But I consider myself not to be like an avid fan. I don't watch all the time. I'm not watching Raw. I'm not watching SmackDown, all those types of things. But I've done a couple of those pools that you've talked about. I've done the ones that you've set up. And it's a fun way to get in. So you may not know a lot about and not feel like risking dollars through my bookie or something like that to place a wager on this. But a fun kind of way to do it for casual fans is what you talked about. Like everyone picks a number. The number that you get is the number that's coming out. You put a little wager on it. It's a big pool. Everyone gets together, watches it together. It's a fun way to do it. That is actually one way that I might recommend. Waging or betting on the Royal Rumble. Do it collectively with a big group, a lot of fun, and make a night of it, right?
For sure. Absolutely. It's this is the one that you can have a little fun with. Definitely the one to tune into. But before we do, Luke, I know it's been a while for you, so I got a little surprise for you. I never told you about this, but I feel like this is one of those great opportunities. One is to test your knowledge a bit. So I'm going to name off 5 names, and you need to tell me if they are or not a professional wrestler.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
This is fun.
This is fun. Okay.
How far back? Like, are we just talking current right now, or this could be from anything?
I don't know, man. It's you can go back in all of time. I'm going to give you 5 names, and you have to tell me, is this person a wrestler or not?
I love a good go.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1.
Yep. Let's go.
Oh, this is going to be hard for me to go through. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Walter.
Oh man,
Is so ridiculous. Walter?
It's so ridiculous. I feel like it is one, but it's I'm gonna go no.
Walter is a wrestler.
Of course it is.
It is. Walter is a wrestler. I believe he's from the UK. I don't know who he is, but I was looking on the odds and he was there. Okay. Next one.
Okay.
Roger Stalback.
Roger Stalback. I've never even heard this name before in my life. No.
He is not.
Okay.
I believe he was the quarterback in the 60s for the Green Bay Packers or Dallas or somebody like that. I know he was an old quarterback. Yeah.
It's a very quarterback name. Okay.
Jenny Jackknife.
Yes, that sounds like a wrestling name.
No, completely made it up in my head. You're 1 and 2. You're 1 and 2.
So
You're 1 and 2.
All right.
All right. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Yes, it's a wrestling name.
It is a wrestler. Yes, very well known. Probably the most popular on my made up list.
You know how it arrived at yes?
Oh.
And why I should have never said yes to the one previously? Finn Balor doesn't seem like a name you would come up with. That doesn't seem like a name that you would make up as a wrestler. There's no way.
Okay.
Jenny Jackknife. All right, go. What's
a good name, man? Okay, so the last one. So you're 2 for 2. This is the decider.
Yeah.
Okay. Braun Breaker.
Braun
Breaker.
Braun Breaker. No, I'm gonna say no.
Sorry, man. It's a wrestler. So I have no idea who it is, but Braun Breaker is sitting at 5,000 plus 5,000. So long shot to win the Rumble.
He could be in it.
Could be in it. I do not know who he is.
Like a surprise. I never heard of him.
Yeah, I'm not sure where. So I'm assuming he's young, he's new, or he's just coming up to the WWE. Maybe he's not there yet.
I think I'm over on every one of the quiz.
2-3. Yeah. It's okay. You did well though. I thought you did pretty well. I love that you fell for Jenny Jackknife. Like I tried everything I could to make sure I said that as legit as possible for you. Yeah.
I took the bait. I took the bait hard on that one.
So who we taking, Luke? Who we taking? If you first of all, if whoever you think, anyone listening, please comment below. Let us know who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble this week, on both the men's and women's side of the Rumble.
And men's and women's side. Okay, so let's start. Where do you want to start?
Let's start on the men's. Let's start on the men's.
Okay, let's start on the men's side.
Yeah. Any takes?
There's a couple of interesting. So when I'm looking at the odds here, a couple that jump out at me, obviously, and some names that would be familiar to me. Someone like a Stone Cold, a Mick Foley, a Rey Mysterio. Some of those names are obvious. Undertaker's in there. Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon in there. Like none of these guys are coming in. Let's be honest. But there is one that's interesting. Johnny Knoxville, and he's
in it.
He's confirmed. He's in it.
Yeah,
he's in it.
Jackass Forever is out, right? So he's on his promo tour, and what a great way to do it.
Promo tour, yeah. Now, and so he's at, what is he at? Plus 10,000. And there's zero chance he's ever going to win the Royal Rumble. Because here's the one thing that we should talk about
from a betting standpoint.
From a betting standpoint, you have to remember, if you were going to bet on the Royal Rumble, just have some fun, put a little bit of money against it, whatever. You have to remember that there is storyline implications for what happens at WrestleMania. And again, I'm the wrong person to walk through what those storylines are. Give those storylines. How does this impact?
So that's what you want, right? So that's what you're actually betting on. You're betting on what is that storyline leading into WrestleMania, their jewel event, the top event. What is the storyline? So you have to think, whoever wins this, they want to face one of the champions. Both of them are fighting in their own matches that night. So what's the storyline that they're going to build up to draw an audience for WrestleMania? So that's what you got to find.
And the one piece to keep in mind for the maybe WWE fans or those that don't know, there are 2 champions.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's actually more than 2 champions. There's 2, like the champion there, but you can technically challenge anyone for a belt. You could even win the Royal Rumble and challenge for a tag team belt if you so wanted to. It's never been done, which I think is going to happen, and I'll talk about that on the women's side.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool, fair enough. So if I'm looking at it here, and you go up, there's a couple of interesting names too here. One that jumps out to me that the odds are interesting and leads me to believe that we could see an appearance here. And that's The Rock at plus 1,200, right? Which is an interesting one. Yeah. That to me would be fun to see. He's such obviously he's a massive superstar.
And a really good storyline. So his storyline is, if Roman Reigns wins on Saturday, that he could challenge Roman Reigns. They're cousins. They've talked about their heritage before. That he's tried to big him up in the past. It could be one of those legacy fights, like he's got to do it one time.
And when you say Roman Reigns wins, means Roman Reigns
retains his title.
Yeah, he has a title match.
Yes.
Bout, whatever we call it in wrestling.
Yeah.
He has a title bout against, I don't even know who's he wrestling against. Do we know who Roman Reigns
he is wrestling against Seth Rollins.
Right. Okay. Yes. So that is a side from the Royal Rumble. So
Correct.
If Roman Reigns loses that, Seth Rollins wins the belt, Roman Reigns could come into the Royal Rumble. If Roman Reigns retains the belt, he's likely not coming into the Royal Rumble.
Correct.
He can't, can he?
That's why
if you're the champion, you can't come in, right?
So no, actually. So funny enough, on the female side, Charlotte Flair is a champion, and she is entering herself in the Royal Rumble to go fight for the other title, so that she could unify the 2 belts.
She's going a little McGregor champ.
A little bit. Yeah. She wants to be double champ. Yeah. Undisputed champ.
Undisputed. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So anyways, outside of that, if I look at the rest of these names, Roman Reigns seems familiar. Brock Lesnar, who holds the other belt. And I don't know that he's going to lose it. There's a John Cena. Obviously he's in it. Randy Orton.
Not necessarily. So John Cena could be a surprise guest.
Right. Yes.
Not confirmed yet. Yeah.
Okay. Not confirmed. Same with, I would assume, Randy Orton. Edge is on here too. I don't know. I feel like the fun bet for me is The Rock, which could be a fun one. I don't know what that storyline is. I don't know how much The Rock might come back in. Brock Lesnar is he the favorite, or well, in this case, I think they've got Big E as the favorite here. Again,
Big E's the favorite. He's recently lost the belt. So
Yeah.
like the storyline for him would be to win and then go get his belt back. It's a good storyline.
Good storyline.
Yeah.
Okay. I would probably for fun, I'd probably throw some money down on The Rock because I think it might be the most fun to see.
It's honestly, I think that would be the most fun to see. I think it's going to happen one day. Is this the time it's going to happen? I'm not sure. But
How old is The Rock? I know the man's in
gotta be
amazing
old.
shape,
Oh yeah.
but like, is he still like? Do we think he still trains? Can he just step
Oh,
into
he's
the
in
ring
shape.
and
Yeah, this
wrestle?
guy's in physical shape.
Yeah,
He was
I
born
know, I
for
know
it.
that-
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
that.
he could do it. He could step in the ring and do it.
So here's the only other thing that I wonder, and I've always wondered this about the Royal Rumble: how scripted is it?
It's
Like, how
pretty scripted.
Is it scripted down to when you're getting tossed out?
I think you have an idea,
And
like
by who?
yeah, usually I think it's that level of detail. They're like, hey, you're going in, you're gonna do 5 minutes. Have some fun in there. Like they don't script like, yeah, you're gonna go hit up him this. And I'm like, there's some really funny stories about like guys that got in the ring for the first time with the Undertaker, and he's like, I'm gonna just go hit him. And then the Undertaker's like turns around and is like, I'll kill you now. Right? Like, so he just like gets dummied by it. Like there's some really great stories about the Royal Rumble, but yeah, overall, like I think you just know who's going to win at the end. But there's been mistakes too, right? So like there's been like this guy's going to win, and both guys fell out at the same time, and both touched the floor, and they're like that wasn't supposed to happen. So there's been screw ups that happen even with this, and someone could get injured. There's always kind of adjustments that have to be made.
Yeah. So The Rock would be the fun one.
That's the one. That would have been. I love that storyline.
You're on the same.
I'm
page?
actually gonna I'm gonna take a long shot. So I'm gonna actually go with a guy that I mentioned here. I'm gonna go with Finn Balor. So I believe he's 2001. He got a push a few years ago, won the belt, and then got injured and never really got back to that prominent status. I think this is the push he's going to get. So he has a alter ego called the Demon. So he's himself a lot, but he has this alter ego that's the Demon that he's covered. Like he's got all the war paint on and this giant look. I think Finn Balor would be my pick there. But we want to hear from you. Let us know who you think is going to win the Rumble.
Okay, so that's men. Let's jump down to the female side. The Women's Royal Rumble. Okay. Do you want me to go first here?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know a lot. I mean, there's a few names that jump out at me here, but I'm going to hone in on Paige at plus 1,600. So for a similar storyline to what happened with Edge.
Yes.
So she had the really bad neck injury, retired in 2018. And from all of the deep research and knowledge and WWE forums I've been reading, rumor has it that she's been trying to be cleared to come back. So it could be a real interesting storyline, similar to what we saw with Edge. When was that? Was that last year, 2 years ago? When did he, was it 2 years ago or last year?
Yeah.
He won it last year.
He won it last year. Yeah. I think it was a couple years ago.
So a couple of years ago, but that could be a really interesting storyline. She makes a return. She comes back after the neck injury, comes in, wins it, and ultimately gets a title shot. And that's her triumphant return to the WWE after retiring. Could be a fun storyline. Yep. Again, outside of that, I don't really know anything about Paige. I've never watched her wrestle once in my life.
So she did a movie. It's called Wrestling with My Family. With My Family. You might have saw it. I highly recommend watching that movie. It's pretty cool. Like they're from the UK.
It's like a documentary?
No, it's a real movie. It's actually a real movie.
Okay.
That made it to theaters and stuff. And it's her story. It's like her and her brother grew up wrestling. They finally got a tryout, and the brother was always the diehard wrestler, and she was there, but she got to learn along the way. And then the WWE picked her and not him. It's a really great story. And like the family growing up, highly recommend. Take a look at it. So I'm going to go with a long shot here. And I kind of teased this earlier. The Bella twins are returning. So it would have been better if they did this as a surprise, but they are going to be in it. They've been retired for a while. I think they've had some kids. I believe one of them was injured too, but they're both coming back. I think one of them wins it. And then for the first time ever, challenges for the tag team championship.
Sorry, who did you say again?
The Bella twins. So Nikki and
okay.
I'm trying to find their odds here. Where are they?
Yeah, I'm looking right now to see Nikki Bella plus 8,000.
Yeah, and then
Brie
Bella. Yeah,
Bella
8,000.
both at
Yeah.
plus 8,000.
So I think one of them is going to win it, and that would be my bet. And then for the first time ever, you'll see someone challenge for something other than the world championship. It'll be for
Interesting.
the tag team belt. And then their sisters will do that, and maybe they'll win it, and they'll be back for a while. So that is my takes. But yes, please give us your take. Who's winning the Women's Royal Rumble this year? I do think there is a chance too for some of the legacy folks that when the Royal Rumble didn't exist for women, the leaders of the world, Trish Stratus is. I feel like one of those things they got to have a check mark on their career is, hey, I won the Royal Rumble. So Lita's in it. So maybe long shot. We'll see.
Maybe I'm always torn with those because of that's the same thing. Like when I look at it and you see like Stone Cold, there's no way he's coming back in, but like how much fun would it be to see Stone Cold come back in? But then it's like, he's never going to win it because the storyline,
it doesn't make sense. You'd have to be there all the time. You'd have to wrestle again.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
Trish has entered one of the Royal. I think she was in a Royal Rumble last year or the year before. So she did come back to do it. So it's not completely out of the question that one of these older retired wrestlers comes back and wins it. And that is the Royal Rumble.
Love it. Sounds good. It's actually funny. I was just scrolling up a little bit further on here too. They've got a bunch of props specific to Johnny Knoxville, right?
Oh, yeah.
What number he's coming in at, how many eliminations he'll have.
He's going to get one elimination. He's going to get one elimination. Give him something.
One. I mean, he wrote that's in the contract for sure. He's saying, I'm coming in, you got to give me one just for that, right?
There is
watching just for that.
He's like retired from stunts too. Like with this new Jackass that comes out, apparently he got just rocked to the point like it's the worst hit he ever took, concussion, like his brain is just not right anymore. So I don't think it's gonna be a long stint for him in this. No. I think it'll be quite in, out, maybe not get too hurt.
Yeah, talk about a career built on abusing your body. It's crazy. Wow, it should be fun fun to watch along with, and it's on Saturday, right? This Saturday,
you got to avoid it. You can't go head to head versus NFL. Like NFL needs their ratings.
And
see what I did there? Yeah. We'll let WWE's letting them have it. We'll go dominate on Saturday night. Yeah,
exactly. Very generous of the WWE, to be honest, to say NFL, here you go. Yeah, fine. We'll move to Saturday. Yeah. You take your Sunday. We'll all play nice. No big deal. But hey, tease up a nice weekend for the fans, right? For sure. A little Rumble on Saturday. Run over and on Sunday and catch the conference finals. So amazing. It should be a good weekend. Looking forward to it. Please let us know, comment, share, like, do all that fun, crazy stuff on social. We want to hear from you, and let us know, because quite honestly, my knowledge on WWE is not strong. So if I'm going to put any money down on this, I probably could use a little bit of help.
Oh yeah, love it.
All right, that's the podcast for this week. We'll look forward to catching up with you again hopefully next week.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks very much for listening, guys. If you like what you hear and you want to learn a little bit more about how to get better at betting, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, comment. We want to hear from you.
Awesome.